What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel and you check out the content. And I recently ran across a video Jason Whitlock made. This video is probably about a year or so old, and it's basically Jason Whitlock talking about who is behind the scenes running LeBron running everything for LeBron James. And the reason why I thought that this video was relevant and important because a lot of people think that when you see athletes and entertainers out front, you think that they're basically controlling everything, and the people behind the scenes are basically people who work for them. And it's not like that, right? And so that's why I thought that this video, was pretty. It would help me really explain why athletes need to do a better job of running their own life. And LeBron James do have friends. He have his guys. What are the Randy Mims and let me see these guys: Randy Mims, Maverick Carter, uh, Rich Paul. But these guys basically are being run by by the same guy that's running LeBron James. And the reason why I think it's, like I said, when you have, if you're a professional athlete or you any type of high profile athlete, right? I think that the people that you have in your circle, in your corner already, should be the people that should buffer you from people like this guy, like Adam Mims, right? But in order to do that, you have to have people in your corner who are qualified to do the jobs that you give to them, right? Because if Rich Paul, Maverick Carter, and Randy Mims really knew what they were doing in those positions that they were appointed, then there would be no need for somebody like Randy Mims. Or at least if they had Randy Mims, he would be really just a legitimate somebody who is working for LeBron James in an advisory type position role, right? And so he would have limited power. But it's not like that. You bring in people, LeBron James brought in his friends. These guys are not qualified for the jobs or and the positions that they have. And so now they need Randy Mims even more. And so that's why Randy Mims is the one who's really running the show for LeBron James. And he basically, you never really hear about Randy Mims, or you never really see Randy Mims. So let me play the audio from Jason Whitlock's show, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna give my input.
Who's running the clown show for LeBron James? Adam Mendelsohn. Adam Mendelsohn doesn't get talked about a great deal, but he does get talked about. Adam Mendelsohn has been working with LeBron James for maybe 15, 20 years, maybe a little bit longer. You'll hear a lot of stories out front that it's Rich Paul and Maverick Carter and these guys, that's LeBron's inner circle. But behind the scenes, everybody knows Adam Mendelsohn is who controls LeBron James. Adam Mendelsohn, Ari Emanuel, they run the clown show. They hire clowns, work with useful idiots like a LeBron James, who was blessed with an amazing amount of physical talent from birth, has no reason in this American culture we've designed to develop intellectually. They focus LeBron James on physical development because that's where the pot of gold was going to come from for LeBron James, and other people do the thinking for LeBron James.
And this right here, in my opinion, this is where a lot of athletes and entertainers go wrong. They get lazy when it comes to thinking, right? And then they just rely on someone else's expertise. But what happens is those people, like when you rely on their expertise, then they wind up in the long run just screwing you over, and they gain more and more power because they control everything. You do the work. LeBron James put in all the work and everything, and then Adam Mendelsohn just manages LeBron James and everything. So as long as LeBron James keeps working, then then there's no problem. But as soon as LeBron James is not useful to them anymore, and Adam Mendelsohn or anybody else, then that's when you see when things fall apart. And that's why you had the type of situation with a guy like Floyd Mayweather, right? This guy had all that money and allowed somebody else to come in, not just the Jonah, I forgot his name, Jonah, not just him, but people before him, because he focused on boxing and just not the business side of his sport.
So the person, you don't understand, curse is keeping it real. And this is somebody that, no, man, we got to be smarter than that. We got to be better than that. I'm a role model while I sit here on TV knowing kids are watching me, taking their signals from me, and I'm just going to curse pervasively for an hour and 20 minutes for no reason. You're talking to a former gold medalist in the Profanity Olympics. And even when I was a gold medalist in the Profanity Olympics, I could go on television and say, hey, man, there's young people out here watching. My mom and daddy are out here watching. I'm not going to make this kind of fool out of myself. I'm on national TV. Now, if I want to go to a strip club and talk like a gangster rap idiot, do it there. You're not on national TV. There aren't kids watching.
And this is the problem, I think, with, like I said, part of the problem with being a public figure or high-profile athlete like LeBron James. Everything you do publicly really just basically gets scrutinized. When the people behind the scene, nobody cares about this guy behind the scene and like what his language is or how he really how he really talk, because he's behind the scene and he's basically just pulling all the strings.
But this is the clown show that's being run. This is Disney. This is ESPN. Calls themselves the worldwide leader in sports. Where are they leading you? Straight to hell. Straight into behavior and a standard of conversation that degrades American society. This is not an accident.
Yeah, and I agree with Jason Whitlock. It's not an accident. Like when you get people like these, they call them handlers sometimes. So when you run into people like this, the handlers, it's not by chance, right? So like now, LeBron James may think that he may have run into Adam Miller or somebody, by chance, but it's always set up like this where you're going to run into somebody like this, and they're basically going to be your handler.
And some of you, that angry old man, Jason Whitlock, and blah, he just doesn't get it. He's not part of the modern society. I don't want to be a part of it. And if you were in your right mind, you wouldn't want to be a part of the clown show. But you know how much money the clown show offers. So chase that 30 pieces of silver. I'm not going to do it. I don't want to be in their clown show. And so I want to just hammer in this final point. And again, I'm just telling you why I'm hated, because, I used to be friendly with Adam Mendelsohn. I'm sure he's still in my phone. I'm sure he'll watch this clip and they'll gather up more plans. Hey, what do we got to do here? We're killing this guy on Wikipedia. We got people running around, Jeremy Boring and all these people calling Whitlock an anti-Semite. Hey, let's frame Whitlock up as Kanye West. Those plans are being redoubled. There'll be a meeting today. How do we frame Whitlock up as an evil person who shouldn't be platformed, and everybody stay away from Jason Whitlock. Because we can't control that Negro. For most of my adult life, I've struggled. But Adam Mendelson's one of these guys behind the scenes. Go look at the, go do the research on.
All right, let me say this one thing too, is people get, the reason why this is important, like who's really running the show, is I think that it's necessary for people to be honest with themselves, right? Because if you're not honest with yourself as to if you would find yourself in this type of position like what LeBron James in, and somebody else is controlling you, you'll never get control. If you think that it's okay to have somebody behind the scenes like Adam Mendelson really running the show, when you're the one, LeBron James is the one out front doing all the work, and then so this guy comes along and is able to orchestrate things from behind the scene. Like I said, there's really no use for Randy Mims and all these guys, like, because they're making money as far as like all this is concerned, and they have jobs, but the guy behind the scene who's really making his money is Adam Mendelson, right? And so he knows how this thing is going to play out way before LeBron, Maverick, Rich Paul, and Randy Mims. He know how this thing is going to play out, and in the end, he's going to be the one who gets to ride off into the sunset and keep all his money. Whereas though these guys right here may not, they may not be lucky like that. This guy Adam Mendelson is going to make his money, like I said, and then he's going to be out. And when things start to fall apart, because these guys, as far as LeBron James, they really are not experts at really running the type of businesses that they have set up, like, TV studios and Clutch Sports Management. Like Rich Paul is not educated, and he's not a professional in that field, right? And so all of this stuff, right, is basically, in my opinion, is just going to fall apart once LeBron James, like the leverage is LeBron James. And so once they no longer have that leverage, LeBron James, then all of these businesses that they have started is just basically going to fall apart. And Adam Mendelson understands that, right? And so he's really just there to get his money while he can, and then when things fall apart, he's going to be, he's going to be out of there. But like I said, in order to avoid these type of situations, you got to be honest with yourself as an athlete, and just realize when people are there just to control you. That's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.